Thank you for choosing a Janome serger. This instructional video has been produced to help you learn the features of your new machine and the various stitches and techniques that it offers. Your new machine trims, seams and overcasts in one easy operation, cutting your work time in half and giving you that professional finish. Switch the machine on by pressing the power switch located on the right side of the machine. To thread your machine, first extend the thread guide bar to its highest position and place good quality threads onto the spool pins. Raise the presser foot and turn your tension dials to 0. This allows the thread to be inserted easily between the tension discs when threading. Next, slide the looper cover to the right and pull it open. Now open the side cover. Threading works from right to left, and there is a convenient threading chart inside the looper cover. Take the thread from the right-hand spool pin, and following the green threading diagram, draw the thread through the right-hand guide on the thread guide bar from back to front. Using the tweezers supplied, insert the thread through the left hole of the thread guide plate from the top, then back over the top and down through the right-hand hole from top to bottom. Lead the thread towards you, through the guide and under the tension disc. Always make sure the thread is correctly inserted between the tension discs by holding both ends and tugging gently. Now pass the thread over the guide and through the next 3 guides marked green. Take the thread, pass it through from right to left and hook it into the lower looper thread guide. Turn the balance wheel towards you until the needles are in the lowest position. Now feed the thread back through the lower looper. Turn the balance wheel towards you until the needles are in the highest position. Take the thread, pass it through the eye of the looper and pull towards the back. Take the thread from the second spool pin and following the red threading diagram, draw the thread through the second guide on the thread guide bar from back to front. Insert the thread through the left hole of the thread guide plate from the top, then back over the top and down through the right-hand hole from top to bottom. Lead the thread towards you, through the guide and under the tension disc. Check that it is inserted correctly and pass the thread over the guide and through the next 2 guides marked red. Turn the balance wheel towards you until the needles are in the lowest position. Insert the thread behind the wire thread guide and pass it through the eye of the upper looper from front to back. Close the cover and place the threads under the foot to the left. To thread the right-hand needle on your serger, turn the balance wheel until the needles are in the highest position. Take the thread from the third spool pin and follow the blue threading diagram. Draw the thread through the third guide on the thread guide bar from back to front. Insert the thread through the left hole of the thread guide plate from the top, then back over the top and down through the right-hand hole from top to bottom. Pass the thread under the tension disc and then under the right needle thread guide and over the take-up lever thread guide from right to left. Hook the thread around the needle thread guide from left to right and then behind the needle bar thread guide. Now pass it through the eye of the right-hand needle from front to back and finally under the foot. To thread the left-hand needle, take the thread from the left-hand spool pin and follow the orange threading diagram. Draw the thread through the left-hand guide on the thread guide bar from back to front. Insert the thread through the left hole of the thread guide plate from the top, then back over the top and down through the right-hand hole from top to bottom. Pass the thread under the tension disc and slide it over the take-up lever thread guide from right to left. Hook the thread around the needle thread guide from right to left and then behind the needle bar thread guide. Now pass it through the eye of the left-hand needle from front to back and finally under the foot. Now that you have successfully threaded your serger, place all the threads under the presser foot and to the left. Now lower the presser foot. Set all 4 thread tension dials at 3. Fine-tuning of these settings may be required depending on types of fabric and thread being used. Holding all threads, start to sew slowly, allowing the threads to form a chain. It is important to note that the seam line is where the left needle enters the fabric, not where the blade cuts the excess away. To sew a seam, insert the fabric under the toe of the foot and start to sew. It's not necessary to raise the foot unless you're using very thick fabric. When you get to the end of a seam, keep the foot control depressed and continue sewing, gently pulling the fabric out to the rear of your machine. This is called chaining off. Cut the thread with the thread cutter located on the left side of the needle bar. To alter the stitch length, turn the stitch length dial located on the right-hand side of your machine. A lower number will give you a shorter stitch length, which is suitable for finer fabrics. A higher number will give you a longer stitch, more suitable for heavier fabrics. Your serger is equipped with a differential feed mechanism, which is designed to help you cope with a wide variety of fabrics. The regulating dial is located under the stitch length dial on the right-hand side of your machine. Lightweight fabrics have a tendency to contract when sewn, causing seams to pucker. When sewing lightweight fabrics, set the differential feed dial between 1.0 and 0.5. Knitted fabrics have a tendency to stretch when sewn, causing the seam to wave. For these fabrics, set the differential feed dial to between 1.0 and 2.25. Your serger will enable you to sew a narrow or wide 3-thread overlock stitch. To sew a wide 3-thread stitch, remove the right-hand needle and its thread. To sew a narrow 3-thread stitch, remove the left-hand needle and its thread. A rolled hem can add that professional finish to bed and table linens and bridal and evening wear. To sew a rolled hem, open the looper and side covers. Next, disengage the cutting blade by pushing in the blade knob and turning it towards you until the blade locks in its lowest position. Then, whilst pushing in the cutting width dial, slide the needle plate setting knob to R. Now, re-engage the cutting blade. Only the right-hand needle is used for rolled hem. Set the stitch length dial to position R and tighten the lower looper tension to between 7 and 8. Lower the presser foot and chain off. Now place your fabric under the foot and sew. Ribbing is used for cuffs and bands on leisure and sportswear. For most garments, ribbing should be cut 1/3 smaller than the garment it's being attached to. Seam the ribbing ends together. Next, divide the ribbing into quarters and pin it to the garment. Because you will be sewing in a circular manner, cut a small square of material from the seam allowance at the starting point. Place the cut up against the blade and sew around the seam, gently stretching the ribbing at the same time. Be sure to remove the pins before they reach the knife blades. Lace is easily sewn into lingerie and all types of ladies' wear, giving that very professional finish. Cut the lace to the same length as the fabric. Set the stitch length dial to 3. Now place the lace and fabric with right sides together under the presser foot and sew, trimming away the raw edges. Finally, press the seam allowance towards the garment to give a perfect finish. Automatic gathering on fine lightweight fabrics is easy on your serger. Set the differential feed to between 2.0 and 2.25, depending on the fabric and amount of gathering desired. Place your fabric under the presser foot and sew, trimming off the excess. If more gathers are required, increase the needle tensions. A plain overlock can be used to decorate your garment or finish your craft work attractively. Using the standard or wide 3-thread stitch, simply overlock the edge of the fabric using various decorative threads on the upper looper. There is a wide range of other optional feet and attachments you can use with your MyLock 204D to help you bring variety and creativity to your sewing. The gathering attachment will enable you to gather the bottom layer of fabric whilst leaving the top layer flat. If you want help with straight seams or pin tucking, then use the cloth guide. You'll find it invaluable. The cording foot type A is great for inserting fishing line into bridal and evening wear to create a lettuce leaf edge. Attaching elastic to your garments is easy with the elastic gathering attachment. The piping foot is essential for home furnishings. And the taping attachment is wonderful if you want to attach tape to stop your fabric from stretching or for decorative purposes. Why not try the beading attachment to give your garment a very professional and expensive look? For professional hemming, use the blind hem foot. It will give you a quick and easy invisible hem. And for added protection when carrying your machine, take a look at the optional Janome tapestry style carry bag with built-in accessory pocket. Your serger uses ballpoint needles size 11 or 14 depending on your fabric. For high-quality stitching, change your needles regularly. Ensure you insert the new needle to its highest position with the flat side to the back of the machine. Regular maintenance will ensure your machine runs trouble-free for many years. Clean around the loopers and knife with a lint brush and oil your machine as recommended by your instruction book.